Okay, so in the last session we saw how to write the CSS rules, how to write your tags, HTML tags, and how to structure your entire web page. Now we will start with the actual coding with the final output to create a web page, a portfolio that looks something like this. And for that I'm gonna delete everything inside body because I don't need that, and everything inside the CSS because we'll write some good quality CSS from scratch in the next session. So let's break down the original web page in the smaller parts. Let's see which elements we want to implement ourselves, and how we are going to implement it ourselves. Firstly, the entire web page looks like it consists of two parts, right? First one is the header and second one is the body. So now we have two different now we can divide our web page into two parts, and we'll implement the header first and we'll implement the body later. So let's say for now the web page doesn't have body. Let's just say it has header, and let's see how we can implement the header. So we will break down the header itself again into more parts, into three sections specifically. First one being image, next one being the title of your name and qualification, and the last one is contact details. So we'll implement our web page exactly like this. We'll create a one parent division because we want to hold all three sections together, and in that parent division we'll create three different sections, one for image, one for your name, and one for contact details. So let's see how to do that. Currently I have nothing in my web page, so it should look blank. And now firstly, like I said, we need to create one parent division for entire header. So what I'm gonna do it, create a div tag for the division, and I'm just gonna write a comment for us here that it's a header. And this is not a tag, it's a comment to read. It's readable by humans only. Browser will just straightforward skip it. I can write any comment here. This is the header. I can write any comment I want here between these two lines, and it will be readable by humans only. Browser will not understand what this is, and it will just skip it. So if I write this here and if I refresh, you will see nothing because it's a comment for browser. So I'm just, for our understanding in future, to differentiate which part is header and which part is body, so that I have written a comment called header. And now, like I said, we will divide it into three different parts, one being image, second one being the name, and third one being the contact details. So image, for importing image, as the name suggests, there is the tag's name is img. There was it was image earlier, but this is short, so we just gonna write image img. And to tell, just like link, to tell which image to import from, there is one attribute called src. Src stands for source. What is the source of the image? From where should browser pick this image and show it on the web page? So currently we don't have it saved on our local, right? But good thing is we can import it from a local a website as well, which is what I have written it in my notes. So I'm just gonna copy that URL of the web page of that portrait of the man, and I'm gonna save it. And that's pretty much all you need to import one image into the web page. So if I save it and refresh it, there is my image. It's a bit large and it's a square, not rounded, but how to fix that we'll see in the CSS soon. After that, we'll create a markup for the next part, the name. This part, if you see, is again divided into two different parts. One is the name, one is the qualification. We're gonna call it qualification. You can call it anything, anything that suits you, doesn't really matter. So I'll create one more division to hold both the parts together. First one is name, and if you see, name was a large text, and we saw how to create large text with the heading tag. And what's his name? And just copy paste it here. And next part was the designation or the qualification, and I'll just paste it again inside one more division. So we created the image, this, when we also created the second part, the name of the author, this part. Okay, if I save it and if I refresh it, there you go, we have name and the qualification. It may look weird right now because we have not applied any single CSS. It will look attractive just like the original output soon when we start writing the CSS for it, but for now we'll just we are now just seeing how to structure your web application. And after that, just the only thing remaining is contact details. I'm gonna create, after this division, I'm gonna create one more. We don't need division. If you see here, this is a 3 different lines of rows. So we can of course write it in the plain text like email, like something like email me @example.com. It will work just fine, but like that. But it's not a good practice if you want to, like, if you want them to align both the columns where they are starting. If you see me, the M, the plus and W all start at the same place, which is not, it will not happen if I just write them in the plain text like this. You see they are not correctly aligned with each other. So for that, what we'll do is we'll create a table for them. This is, and we'll structure this table into 3 different rows. Rows are always horizontal, and 2 different columns. Okay, now how to do that is, as the name suggests, the name of the tag to create a table will be table, and next we'll go line by line. So in the first line, first row, we have this 2 columns, right? So firstly we need to create a table row. It will create the tr tag, table row tag will create a row, and inside that we'll create 2 columns with the td tag. TD stands for table data, and if I write email here, it may look a little bit weird to you, but you'll get the idea once we write a little bit more code with it. So if I can write here me @ or even anything contact exam.com, I save it, refresh it, yeah, so this is the email, me@contact.com, and this has created one table row. I can show you how it is table if I enable the borders of the table. Okay, now you see this is becoming table. We'll remove the border soon because we don't need it exactly right now, later. And next thing, we need another row for phone number. So similarly, we'll create one more row here with tr tag, and inside it 2 more columns just like this, one which represents phone and one which represents its value, like that. Okay, if I save and refresh, there you go. Now we have email, phone, contact and phone number. This is one row, this is another row, this is one column, this is another column, right? Oh, I didn't end this tag. If you see, there is this small square here because I started the td tag but didn't end it with the slash, so it started another td tag again. It's a mistake, and if I save it, there you go. Now it looks better. And for the last row, for the web tag, the web part, we need one more row, one more column in it called let's say web, and I'm gonna have its value www.example.com, just like that. Save it, refresh it. We have all our 3 values. I'm gonna now remove the border. It was just for our understanding anyway. Now it looks a little bit clean, at least it's not on the same line and it's not cluttered That's all for the this part. We saw how to structure any web application, and how to break it down into smaller problems, and how to solve one problem at a time. Next we'll see how to make this look exactly like this. That's all for now. Thanks.